Hello, everybody. We're going to do a little experiment today. Let me back this thing up. And there. Okay, so it's 35 below out, 32 below out. Celsius, that is. Doesn't matter. Once you get to a certain point, that's just cold. Looking through some YouTube stuff last night, and decided that I would make an experiment, try an experiment out. Okay, so this is spent potting mix that was in a pot sitting out in my garage outside for a really long time. I'm suspecting mostly forever. This is not spent potting mix, and to be honest, it doesn't look a lot like that. This is like out of the bag, Miracle-Gro stuff. I'm gonna mix that half and half. And then I'm gonna wet it. And while I'm wetting it, or stirring it, I might as well wet it because it's dusty and I don't need dust all over my house. Okay, so spoon. Okay guys, I'm just messing around here today trying to get, I plugged my truck in, I'm waiting for it to warm up. Go do some chores. It is Friday today. I should be doing worms, but we did worms late last time. So we're not doing worms on Friday today, because it was like Sunday when we did them last time, so it would only be 5 days. But meanwhile, okay, let's explain this experiment that we're doing. This is worm castings. I've got some oats seed. This is just to play and see how worm castings is different from, makes it different in germination of seeds, and makes it different how the plants react in worm castings, with soil with worm castings in it, in your pots. And this is not going to be like farm type size, real life size experiment. This can happen in your pots and in your, maybe in a little raised bed or something, but you're not going to do this farm scale. We'll get this good and wet because we're going to be starting seeds in it. And like everybody knows, if you're trying to get pot and soil wet, it seems to have to get to a certain point before it absorbs anything. So this is just me wasting some time this morning because, like I said, it's cold out. I don't want to go outside. I gotta go do chores here later, but I know where my piggies will be. They'll be tucked into their shelters, and they'll be staying there until the dinner bell hits. And then they come out and eat, and then they go back in their shelters when it's this cold. They're pretty self-reliant. So that's nice and mixed up right now. I have. Where did that thing go?
What thing?
There. Got a little mini greenhouse thing. Gonna set this up in a pie plate. Fuzzies. So that's half spent, half new potting mix. And I don't know how spent it was. It wasn't my plant. It was here when we moved here. It was dried out in a pot, and I just took a handful off of it. I'm sure it'll be fine. Actually, most plants probably die with lots of nutrients up their feet. They just usually die of thirst, especially when they're in a pot in Saskatchewan, because it's dry
And cold.
most times.
And cold.
All right. So in this cup now, I'm going to take some of this. Call that halfers. Then I'm going to take some worm castings. We'll call that about a third or a quarter. We're not going to go half and half. We're going to go. And I'm going to go into this pie plate because I need some room. Mix stuff up. So we're just going to give this a good mix. So part of this experiment is I want to see just the difference in between worm casting, soil with worm casting amended to it, and regular good old potting soil. I was watching somebody else's video. They're interested in doing the same thing I am, to take their vermiculture compost and put it to work on an agriculturally farm size system. And got messaging her, and she says, like, well, try some seeds and see how it goes. And it's like, good idea. Let's do that. So, okay, there's my mixed stuff. I'm gonna put it back in this cup because I got too much. Alright, we're gonna go half. And I need something to mark. Okay, so that corner, the paper towels on the corner, that will be the worm casting side. And then we're just going to put the mix in the other side. And I'm going to keep them separate. Not even going to let them touch. It doesn't. We'll have enough space in here to make an experiment. This is just an experiment. This doesn't really, you know, when it's all said and done, it's going to go into the worms. And they'll eat it. Okay, we'll get some of this stuff out of the road for now. There. Okay. Highly technical stuff here, guys. This is oats and rye, and I see a couple of lentil seeds in there. It's all stuff out of the back of my truck that I take to feed the pigs. So I'm just gonna kind of count out. Let's just go with oats. Let's make it a fair game here, because I know the oats germination is good. So I'm gonna pause you. I'll count some seeds out and then I'll come back. All right. Okay, so to explain what I did, I counted out 25 average size oat seeds. 2 piles. So there's 50 seeds, 2 piles of 25. So we're gonna disperse them. Each pile. That's our 25 seeds. Spread them out a little. Punch them down. Just squish them in the surface. We're gonna put these in a little mini greenhouse thing, so they're gonna have lots of moisture. Just gonna take a piece of paper towel, fold it up in between so that everything stays separate. I don't want no cross contamination of nutrients. Yeah, right. Water-based nutrients, they're gonna cross contaminate, but anyway. The sides with the paper towel corners is the side with our worm castings. So you can see how scientific I'm being. Everything got wet. Set this over here. Back into the garbage. So, here we go. This is how we're setting it up. And lots of moisture in there for the seeds to grow. I'm not at all worried about that. We're just gonna take this little mini tray, it's a mini greenhouse, guys. And I do with the lid. There, lid's over here. And we're gonna cover it up. So it has a space there, space there, space there, space. It's not sealed, but it will be climate controlled. I'm just gonna clean this plastic up. Because it's gloomy enough out here as it is, we don't need to add shade through the plastic. Okay, so today is January 12th? What's the date today?
12th, I think 12th, yeah.
Okay, so today's January 12th. We're setting this up. We're going to put it in a window. Hopefully the cats don't torment it too much. We're going to wait till it sprouts, and then we're going to do an update. And then we're going to let it grow, and we're going to do an observation of how the plants react in the different sides. And we're going to go with that. Another one I want to try, but I only have one of these, and I'm really not buying one. So later, I'm going to try a worm tea brew, inoculating the seeds, and that's going to be the only difference. Anyway, we'll update you along the way. Talk to you later.